Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Talk English Freely. It's so great to see you again.
Hey there, thanks for coming back. We're really happy you're here.
How are you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing well, thanks. How about you, Jessica?
I'm good. Actually, I've been looking at photos from my last trip. It's making me want to travel again.
Oh, where did you go on your last trip?
I went to Italy last year. It was absolutely beautiful. Looking at those photos brings back such good memories.
Italy sounds amazing. I've always wanted to go there.
You should. And actually, that's our topic today.
That's right. Today we're gonna talk about travel experiences, places we've been, places we want to go.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Brian.
Today, we're talking about travel and traveling. Travel is one of those things that creates lasting memories. It opens our minds and helps us see the world differently. But it can also be challenging and sometimes stressful.
Exactly. Travel has both good moments and difficult moments, but overall, it's such a valuable experience. Today, we'll talk about all of that.
Right. So, we're just going to have a casual conversation about travel. Share our travel experiences. Talk about places we love and places we want to visit.
Yeah, nothing too formal, just a relaxed chat about traveling. And while you listen, you're learning English naturally.
Exactly. So if you're new here, welcome to Talk English Freely. This channel is all about natural English conversations. No grammar lessons, no vocabulary tests. Just two people talking about real topics.
And if you like this kind of content, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps us grow this channel.
Yes, please do. And leave a like if you enjoyed today's conversation. Every like means so much to us.
It really does. Your support keeps us motivated.
All right, so we're both thinking about travel today. Ready to talk about our adventures?
Absolutely. This should be fun.
All right, everyone, here we go. So, Brian, let me start with a simple question. What's your favorite place you've ever traveled to? Like, the destination that stands out the most in your memory?
That's a tough question. I've been to several places that I loved, but if I had to choose one, I would say Japan. I went there a few years ago, and it completely blew my mind. The culture is so different from what I'm used to. Everything felt new and exciting and fascinating.
Japan sounds incredible. What did you love most about it? Was it the food, the culture, the people?
All of it, really, but I think what impressed me most was how polite everyone was. People were so respectful and helpful, even though I didn't speak Japanese. People tried so hard to help me. They would go out of their way to make sure I found what I needed. That kindness really touched me.
That's so nice to hear. Sometimes people worry about traveling to places where they don't speak the language. But it sounds like the language barrier wasn't a huge problem.
It wasn't as bad as I expected. Yes, there were moments of confusion, like trying to order food or ask for directions, but people were patient with me. And honestly, the challenge of communicating without words was kind of fun. You learn to use gestures and facial expressions. It's like a game.
That's a great attitude to have. I think some people let the language barrier stop them from traveling, but it sounds like you just embraced it as part of the adventure.
Exactly. It's part of the experience. You can't let fear hold you back. What about you, Jessica? What's your favorite place you've traveled to?
For me, it's definitely Italy, which I mentioned earlier. I went there last year and fell in love with everything about it. The food was amazing, the architecture was stunning, the people were warm. I visited Rome, Florence, and Venice during my 2-week trip. Each city had its own unique character and charm. It was like stepping back in time in some places.
2 weeks sounds like a good amount of time. Did you travel alone or with someone?
I went with my best friend, Emma. We planned the trip together for months. It was really special to share that experience with her. We made so many memories together, like getting lost in the narrow streets of Venice, or eating gelato every single day in Florence. Those are the moments I'll remember forever.
That's wonderful. Traveling with a good friend is the best. You have someone to share the experience with, and you can look back on those memories together.
Exactly. We still talk about that trip all the time. We'll be doing something random, and one of us will say, "Remember when we did this in Italy?" And then we'll spend an hour reminiscing about the trip.
That's great. Those shared memories are precious. Okay, here's another question. What's the most challenging travel experience you've had?
And I have a story about that. When I was traveling in Thailand a few years ago, I got really sick. I ate something that didn't agree with me, probably street food, and I spent 2 days in my hotel room feeling awful. I couldn't keep any food down. I had a fever. I felt terrible. It was scary being sick in a foreign country far from home.
That sounds really rough. What did you do? Did you go to a doctor?
Eventually, yes, the hotel staff helped me find an English-speaking doctor. He gave me some medicine and told me to rest and drink lots of water. After a couple of days, I started feeling better, but it was definitely a difficult experience. It made me realize how vulnerable you can be when traveling.
Yeah, getting sick while traveling is one of my biggest fears. You're away from home, away from your regular doctor. Everything is unfamiliar.
Exactly, but you know what? Even though it was difficult, I learned something from it. I learned to be more careful about what I eat when traveling. And I learned that I'm stronger than I thought. I handled a scary situation in a foreign country and survived.
That's a good way to look at it. Difficult experiences teach us things. They make us stronger and more capable.
They really do. What about you, Brian? Have you had any challenging travel experiences?
Yeah, I have a story too. When I was in Japan, I missed my train. I was supposed to take a specific train to get to my next city, but I got confused about the schedule, and I missed it by literally 2 minutes. I watched it pull away from the platform.
Oh, no. What did you do?
I panicked at first. I didn't know when the next train was, and I was worried about my hotel reservation. But then I went to the information desk, and with some difficulty, I communicated my problem. They helped me figure out an alternative route. It took longer, but I eventually got to my destination.
That must have been stressful in the moment, but it sounds like you handled it well.
It was stressful, yeah, but looking back, it's actually a good memory. Because I solved a problem in a foreign country, I didn't just give up or panic. I figured it out. That gives you confidence.
Absolutely. Those challenging moments often become the best stories later. Now, let me ask you something different. Do you prefer planned trips or spontaneous trips?
I'm definitely more of a planner. I like to research destinations before I go. I make lists of things I want to see and do. I book hotels and transportation in advance. It makes me feel more secure and prepared.
I can understand that. Planning does reduce stress and uncertainty. You know what to expect, and you have everything organized.
Exactly. What about you? Are you a planner or more spontaneous?
I'm somewhere in the middle, I think. I do some planning, like booking flights and hotels in advance, but once I'm there, I like to be flexible and spontaneous. I don't want every hour scheduled. I want room for unexpected adventures and discoveries. Some of my best travel memories came from unplanned moments.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so when I was in Italy, Emma and I had a free afternoon in Rome. We didn't have anything planned. We were just wandering around, and we stumbled upon this tiny restaurant in a small alley. It wasn't in any guidebook. It wasn't famous or anything, but we decided to go in and try it. and it ended up being the best meal we had in all of Italy.
That's a perfect example. If you had every moment scheduled, you might have missed that.
Exactly. That's why I like having some flexibility. You need space for those spontaneous discoveries. Some of the best experiences happen when you're not following a plan.
I can see the value in that. Maybe I should try being more spontaneous on my next trip.
You should. It can be scary at first if you're used to planning everything, but it's also exciting and freeing. Now let me ask you about travel companions. Do you prefer traveling alone or with other people?
I've done both, and I think each has its own benefits. Traveling alone gives you complete freedom. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. You don't have to compromise or consider anyone else.
That's true. Solo travel does sound appealing in that way. Have you traveled alone before?
Yes, a few times. I did a solo trip to Japan actually. It was both exciting and lonely at the same time. During the day, I loved having the freedom to explore at my own pace. But in the evenings, I sometimes felt lonely. I wished I had someone to share my experiences with.
I can imagine. That's the trade-off with solo travel, I guess. Freedom versus companionship.
Exactly, so now I try to balance both. Sometimes I travel alone, sometimes with friends. What about you? Would you ever travel alone?
I've thought about it, but I haven't done it yet. Part of me wants to try it for the independence and self-discovery, but part of me is nervous about being alone in a foreign place. What if something goes wrong? What if I get lonely? I'm still working up the courage to do it.
Those are valid concerns, but I think you would enjoy it if you tried. Start with a short trip somewhere close. Don't go to the other side of the world for your first solo trip. Build up to it.
That's good advice. Maybe I'll try a weekend trip somewhere nearby first. Test the waters before doing anything too ambitious.
Exactly. Baby steps. Okay, here's a different question. What's on your travel bucket list? Places you really want to visit?
Oh, I have so many places on my list. At the top is probably Iceland. I've seen so many beautiful photos of Iceland with the northern lights. The landscapes look otherworldly and magical. I really want to see that with my own eyes. Also, I want to visit New Zealand someday.
New Zealand is on my list too. The nature there looks incredible. What else is on your list?
I'd love to go to Greece and see the ancient ruins, and visit the Greek islands with the white buildings and blue water. That looks so picturesque and peaceful. I also want to go to Morocco and experience the markets and culture. Oh, and I've always wanted to see Machu Picchu in Peru. There are just so many places I want to see.
You have an ambitious list. That's a lot of different types of destinations.
I know I want to see everything. Different cultures, different landscapes, different experiences. I don't want to limit myself to just one type of travel. What's on your bucket list, Brian?
Well, I really want to go back to Japan. One trip wasn't enough. There's so much more I want to see. I also want to visit Norway and see the fjords, and I'd love to do a safari in Africa. Seeing wild animals in their natural habitat would be amazing.
A safari does sound incredible. That would be such a unique experience, completely different from city travel.
Yeah, exactly. I want to experience different types of travel. Not just cities, but nature too. What about you? Do you prefer city travel or nature travel?
I think I prefer cities, honestly. I love exploring museums, trying local food, walking through neighborhoods. I like the energy and culture of cities, but I do appreciate nature too. I just connect more with urban environments.
I'm kind of the opposite. I enjoy cities, but I prefer nature, hiking, mountains, beaches. That's where I feel most peaceful and happy.
It's interesting how people have different preferences. Some people recharge in nature, others in cities.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong, just different. Okay, here's another question. What's the worst travel mistake you've made?
Oh no, I have an embarrassing story. When I was traveling in France, I didn't book my hotel in advance. I thought I could just find something when I arrived. But it was during a big festival that I didn't know about. Everything was completely booked. I spent hours walking around trying to find a room.
What happened? Where did you sleep?
Eventually, I found a hostel with one bed available. It wasn't ideal, but I was grateful to have anywhere to sleep. The lesson I learned is to always book accommodations in advance, especially during peak travel season.
That's definitely a good lesson. I've made booking mistakes too. Once I booked a hotel in the wrong city. I meant to book in Munich, but I accidentally booked in Nuremberg. They're both in Germany, but they're not close.
Oh no! How did you realize the mistake?
When I arrived at the hotel address in Munich, and there was no hotel there, I checked my confirmation email and realized my error. I had to quickly find a new hotel. It was stressful and expensive.
That's such an easy mistake to make, though, especially when you're booking online and looking at multiple cities.
Yeah, it happens. Now I always triple check my bookings, city, dates, everything.
Good policy. Now let me ask about travel style. Do you prefer luxury travel or budget travel?
I'm definitely more of a budget traveler. I'd rather spend less on hotels, so I can spend more on experiences. I don't need a fancy room. I just need a clean, safe place to sleep.
I'm similar. I don't need luxury accommodations. As long as it's clean and comfortable, I'm happy. I'd rather save money on the hotel and spend it on food and activities.
Exactly. The hotel is just where you sleep. You spend most of your time exploring anyway.
Right, although I do splurge on certain things, like food. I always budget extra money for trying local restaurants. For me, food is a huge part of the travel experience.
Same here. Food is so important. It's one of the best ways to experience a culture. What's the best food you've had while traveling?
Oh, definitely the pasta in Italy. Every single meal was incredible. Even simple dishes were amazing. The ingredients were so fresh and flavorful. I gained like 5 pounds on that trip from eating so much.
Ha, that's a good problem to have. It means the food was good. For me, the best food was in Japan. The ramen, the sushi, everything was perfect. So fresh and delicious.
Japanese food is incredible. I want to go to Japan just for the food.
You should. It's worth it just for that. Okay, final question before we wrap up. What advice would you give to someone planning their first international trip?
Oh, that's a great question. My advice would be to start with somewhere relatively easy. Don't make your first international trip super complicated or challenging. Choose a destination with good infrastructure and tourist services. Somewhere that's beginner-friendly. Build your confidence before tackling more difficult destinations.
That's excellent advice. Start easy, then work your way up. What else would you tell them?
I would say don't overplan your itinerary. A lot of first-time travelers try to see everything. They pack their schedule too full, but then they end up exhausted and stressed. It's better to see fewer things, but really enjoy them. Quality over quantity.
Great point. You don't have to see everything in one trip. You can always go back. I would add, be flexible and patient. Things will go wrong. Flights get delayed. You'll get lost. Plans will change. That's just part of travel. Don't let it ruin your trip.
Yes, absolutely. Expect the unexpected. Some of my best travel memories came from things going wrong. Those become the funny stories you tell later.
Exactly. And one more thing. Talk to locals if you can. They know the best places that aren't in guidebooks.
That's great advice. Local recommendations are always the best.
They really are.
Okay, I think we've covered travel pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, we talked about so many aspects. Favorite destinations, challenges, planning styles, bucket lists.
And hopefully we've inspired people to travel more, or at least to dream about their next trip.
Definitely. Travel is one of life's great joys.
It really is. Well, everyone, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for listening to us talk about travel experiences.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
If you enjoyed this conversation, please give us a like. It really helps us out.
And subscribe if you haven't already. We make videos like this regularly. Just natural conversations about everyday topics.
In our next video, we'll talk about something different. Another topic from daily life.
So make sure you're subscribed.
And if you have any topic ideas, leave a comment below. Tell us what you want to hear us talk about.
We love hearing from you. Your suggestions help us create better content.
All right, everyone. If you're dreaming about travel, start planning, even if it's just a small trip nearby. Travel doesn't have to be expensive or far away to be meaningful.
Yeah, every journey is valuable, near or far, expensive or cheap. It's all about the experience.
Exactly. Get out there and explore the world.
Or even just your own city. There's always something new to discover.
Great point.
All right, safe travels to everyone.
We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.